Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, Classic Lesson Known Classic. This episode number 2889. And I think it's 89, right? I think it is. Oh, it's 85, excuse me. And Doubleshot 2779. A couple Superman storylines here. First of which is a Millennium Giants book, which is a little bit afterwards this one. Yes, it's a very short storyline. Now, I had discussed already for the main story itself, roughly two parts already. That's the Aquaman and Supergirl stories. I am not going to be discussing here Teen Titans, Steel, or Challenge Unknown because I'll discuss those in a later point. Just discussing the Superman issues for this one. And I'm also discuss the following storyline, the Dominus effect. This storyline here, pretty much in a way, it's like we have these giants coming to Earth and basically trying to cleanse the planet. That's a A plot of the story. The B plot is that for some strange reason, I'm not sure why in the world they decided to do this for, Simone, the marketing manager, decides to put as the opening page, the front page of the story, is that, oh, we have a picture of Lex's baby girl. And Perry hates the fact it's like this. He's like, that's not why I had it as the front page. That was a completely different story. Because Simone, she doesn't like Simone's ideas. It's somebody that basically that Terp, the guy who owned Frank Lister hired to run, and this is a really bad. And then Lex himself shows up, basically yelling at Perry White over this. And what Perry should have told him is, this was not his idea. That was not going to be the front page. This would be a different story. Yeah. And he's like, now you have people hounding her. She's a freaking baby. You ever thought of hiring bodyguards, Lex? You freaking moron. Yes, Lex in this particular issue is ready to be a complete moron. Like, I get the fact he's upset over the picture of his daughter being shown. Fine. But he's a public figure. Of course people are going to hound him in the press over this. And the whole thing of this thing is that we have the Superman red and blue here. Like, oh yeah, we're fine, Earl. And then, like, they realize, oh yeah, we should probably combine. And then, like, once in Millennium Giants, as a thank you for dealing with them, in Superman Forever number 1, they're merged into one. Once again. And it's back in their costume again. It feels like everything is all back normal. This kind of all started with after the whole finale wrapped up with this whole thing. Like, we finally dealt with the whole. By the way, it's the main storyline is the whole the Millennium Giants is Man of Steel, Space Steel 78, Superman 134, Avengers Superman 557, and Max Comics number 554. 754. Yeah, and it continues over in Superman of Steel number 79, which it's kind of part of the story. Yes, it is. Yeah, it also continues part of the story here. We get inspired by the Challenger and the Teen Titans. And then we wrap up the storyline as the main story itself with Superman 135, which later leads into Superman Forever number 1, which is a one-shot. And basically, it's like, yeah, Superman's back, the basics. The writer of this book is Carl Ketzel, Louis Simonson, with artwork by Anthony Williams, Dan Jurgens, John Byrne, John Maeva, Karen Doyer, Claus Johnson, Norm Brevigel, rest in peace, man. Paul Ryan, Scott Eden, Steve Yawall, Stuart Emden, who is the artist, who is the writer artist of Action. Tom Gremmett, who is also since passed away, and Val Simmons. Tom Gremmett, in case you don't know, he actually still alive. I thought he passed away by mistake. Because he was the artist for because I think he's one of those artists who worked on Batman, who's shockingly still alive. Because sadly put a lot of the artists who like basically comic classic creators. So yeah, he's still sick, so he's still alive. But I know Norm Brevigel passed away. He passed away. It was just, oh my gosh, like 6 years ago. Yes. And keep this guy was only like 58 when he passed. Great artist. Mm-hmm. So basically, we have guest stars galore. The stuff he was scorched. Basically, here are guest appearances in this book. We have supporting characters: Albert Armstrong, Dark Armstrong's daughter; Bob Bosky, Cat Grant, Dan Charpin, Dark Armstrong, Dublix, Guardian, Jim Olsen; Cosmet Lois and Lucy Lane; Maggie Sawyer, Martha Kent; Misa, Jonathan Kent; Professor Avery Hamilton, Perry White, Ron Chirp, Scorn, Simone, Steele, Superboy, and Supercar Matrix. It's basically, in a way, back to basics. That's what this book is. It's the big story of this book, aside from the big merger, is that Lex's daughter is kidnapped. Even though he wants Superman to basically stay out of it because he don't want Superman anywhere near this. Superman, and is also, this is where it's discovered that Lex's wife is indeed alive, thanks to a present to him, black roses. Which he points out, though, his wife was known for sending him that stuff. And she's still alive and well, perfectly fine. Yeah, she arranged her own daughter's kidnap because she couldn't hold her. Because Lex is stupidly jealous. So, she has returned. Superman tells him, do not let any harm come to her. And he's like, yes, I promise that. Because Superman and Lex do not like each other, but they do agree that nothing should come to Lena. That come by him in the butt years later, but who and then basically there's a new villain who sends Superman to 3 different realities. Yes. We later this one shot, this is concluding Millennium Giants and the Superman Blue stuff. We lead into the Dominus effect, where this weird alien creature sends Superman to 4 freaking timelines and avenges Superman in the Silver Age. In Action Comics, it's the Bronze Age, which is called Polyester Year for some reason. Man of Steel is the Golden Age, and Superman Volume 2, it's Superman 2099. This whole story took up issues of these following books: Avengers Superman 558 to 561, Action Comics 745 to 748, Superman of Steel 80 to 83, Superman Volume 2 136 to 139. Yeah, I love what they do with the font for these covers, because, like, Man of Steel has got this old school cover. And also, this is something quite interesting. We also get surrounded by the Atomic Story, but here's the thing about these issues. This is part of the numbering. It's not like where it's like before. It's like we have this issue, it contains this issue, another book. It's basically all stuff contained in each of these books. It's actually the first time since pre-Crisis that the book has done this. Which is a very interesting concept, and I love this storyline. It is fantastic. They do, in fact, wrap this up pretty quickly by having fight in the last few issues. And Wade returns. At this time since, like, I think since Armageddon 2001. It had been a while since he was last seen. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yep. Also, it's discovered in Leo Giants that Lucy is pregnant. Yes, Lucy is pregnant with Ron Turner's child. That's better. Yeah. And oh boy, like, it's like the stuff that comes after this becomes really stupid. Superman does his thing, like in his own book. I guess talk about here. So, basically, right after this whole storyline of, like, wraps up with issue 139. That's where the storyline wraps up here, with the whole Dominus effect. Right afterwards, we move on to Superman number 11, where Superman deals with dinosaurs. Yes. And after that, then we have this issue: Superman Save the Planet. Where in this one shot, it's revealed Lex Luthor buys Daily Planet all because he's bitter over the publication of the picture of his daughter in the paper. So what does he do? He fires the whole staff, with the exception of Lois, Simone, and Jimmy, and Derek. Yeah, they're all fired. Heck, they even fire Ron Turpin because it's revealed Frank Stern can't afford to keep the paper anymore, so he sells to Lex. So Lex fires them, including Clark, out of bitterness. So, what does he do? Right after he fires everybody, and of course put the paper on the publication for a week, what does he do? He demolishes the building, takes out the globe, and blows and basically destroys the building. To build Lexcom. This stupid interactive thing they put in the book. Yeah, I've been reading some of the stuff. It is so freaking stupid. Like, yeah, Lois basically is frustrated over this stuff. Yeah, and also Perry quits. But here's the thing: the people who give in the termination, like, it's pointed out though by the employees, they have no idea these people are, because it's Lex's people. They've never before, so they're all fired. Yes, and like, despite the fact that Perry tried to take some of his awards, like, oh yeah, the Pacific mailbox, these are his awards. They're not owned by the planet. Yes, and it continues over that book, and it's written by Louise Simonson. Scott Eden does the artwork. Yeah, and then basically, 562, the building is destroyed. Yeah. They do in fact kill off in 562 one of the members. Machine Gun, yeah, he gets killed off here. He was a fairly new character. They also killed off Torture. Yeah, she gets killed off too after being around for a short period of time. Yeah, end of an era, for, like, basically it's the end of the Daily Planet, and it's gone. Yep. And then we have The City of the Future, a 4-part storyline that starts in Axe Comics number 740. I will eventually do another comic corner and do all the 1 million one-shots. Where it's like you have all the stuff is scored, and yeah, this whole storyline here, which part 2 is in Superman of Steel number 84. Where he takes on the Inventor, who turns out to be the Cyborg. Yeah. The Cyborg returns first time since Superman Blue. Part 3 is in Superman Volume 2, number 140. And then we wrap this up with Superman 563. Yes. Of course, there's a Candor, and I found this story to be really good. And then we have some 50. Yeah, and this is where, like, they basically... And also the DO pops up in this issue being dicks. Yeah, it's like, oh, because the FBI is not in the DC universe, let's write DO to be like the fictitious version of the FBI to be complete dicks local PD. Yeah. The DO. The organization by Bones, which in other books were going to be pretty decent agents. Here we're be complete dicks because they have federal power. Let's basically measure how big our dick is. Dick measure contest is what it is. Yeah, so it's filling these issues. So Lucy tells her parents that she's pregnant, and Sam is ready to be so stupid here. So he thinks that Ron raped her. Yes. And, like, no, this is perfect consensual. And then they come up with the stupidest thing I have ever seen. So, the plan, he wants her to go upstate to his other home and then give the baby up for adoption. I'm reading this, I'm like, does Lucy's parents, General Sam Lane and his wife, do they think this is the 1930s? And of course, basically, he's upset because the Lanes are really complete morons. And here's the thing. Ron's parents, it is mentioned by Lucy. They have no problem with this at all. They have no problem with this. It's Lucy's parents are complete morons. I'm like, yes. Here's the thing. Lucy is an adult woman. She's not a teenager. Do they think she's a teenager? Like, did the man to give up their own grandchild for adoption? Yes, the Lanes are written to be so stupid in this storyline. Yeah, and Lucy's ever right to be upset. Yeah, I get this from Sam, but from Ellie, Lois's mom, who's usually written to be a pretty decent person. Yeah, let's write her to be basically not in character, like where she's out of the 1940s. I mean, come on. Yeah, last time I checked, it's not 1930s or 40s. At this point, it's the 1990s. Like, there is nothing wrong with basically her. Like, yeah, they're not married, but so freaking what? Oh, and the whole thing with Lexcom. Yeah, it's this sort of interactive stuff. By the way, we're discussing some more issues here. So, basically, 750 begins basically a series of stupid ideas. Though, I like the Superman stuff in here, but the B-plots are so stupid. Yes. By the way, Action Comics is still my student, which I think the writing's okay here. But my gosh, we have John Bagava does issue 85 Man of Steel. Yeah. Morgan Edge is here, and then we move on to Man of Tomorrow number 12. Yes. And they tried this the Lexcom thing, which, yeah, and the whole thing is that apparently Lois is not allowed to do her job. Like, she is written to be somebody who's there just to write reports. And I'm like, what is this? Why is Lois being confined to the office? And she points this out. Like, why am I confined to the office for? Like, this is stupid. Because Lex does not want to be an reporter. But he allows Jimmy out of the office, no problem, but can't allow Lois out. Oh, because she's a woman. And she has to be in the frickin' office typing reports. It's like, okay, why the heck is the writers basically writing, like, Lex to be a complete sexist to Lois more than usual? Oh, I do love the cover for issue 141, where it's basically clear not doing a flash cover. Yes. Oh, yeah, and then we build up to the debut of the Supermen of America. Yes, where Superman is getting tired of all the crime across the world, so he wants to be Superman 24/7 after his book, he tries to be Clark, but he just gets bored and gives up. And we have the debut of the character Outburst, who is really, Michelle Anderson. Yeah. And this is in Superman 241. And we're on the 564 here, where he deals with basically nuclear disaster. And this all basically starts because there's a nuclear disaster in Macovia, and Superman is there to help out like he normally does. Then Geoforce tries to stop him. I'm like, Geoforce, why are you trying to get Superman to stop? I'm like, is the writer writing him completely out of character? By the way, the book is written by Carl Kitzler and Jared Ordway. I'm like, why is this written like this for? Yeah, and by the way, Perry is not the publisher anymore. They're trying a new direction here. So, yeah, by the way, Franklin Stern returns to the book. By the way, in 750 there was a train crash. And by the way, when Jimmy sees him, I think it was Jimmy, I think it was Ryan who sees him. It's like, Franklin, what happened to you? I was in a train accident. It's like, that's news to me. Wasn't reported. Yeah, Lex did not report a train wreck. Because he wants to report stuff that's not really, not news. Made up news. Yeah, let's not report a freaking train wreck that nearly cost the life of your former publisher. Yes. For some reason, let's do that. Yeah, and then we lead into some more of the yeah, in the 86 it starts the whole thing of like Superman everywhere. He's like 24/7. And we have Booster Gold here, Blue Beetle, who basically is who's openly criticizing Superman for this in 86. And 142, he stops being Clark Kent. He's Superman 24/7. Now, you're probably thinking, wait a minute. A main superhero character gives him identity because of he wants to be 24/7, wants to dish that aside. You're thinking, this sounds very familiar. That's because it was. Because just a few years after this, in the pages of Batman, in what is considered to be one of the most confusing storylines ever written for Batman comics, Batman Bruce Wayne Fugitive, this also happened too, where Batman stopped being Bruce Wayne for a period of time to be Batman 24/7. Yeah, and this went on for like, apparently I heard it for a whole year. Yeah, and then it continues on in 565, where the JLA are called in. Yes, the JLA, which is comprised at this point of Batman, March Manhunter, Wally West, Kyle Rayner. Yeah, and he also ends up fighting 2 Flash villains in this book. Yes. And then we lead to Supermen of America, which is the formation of this group, which is basically the Protectors of Metropolis when Superman's not around. Written by Stuart Immonen, art by Norman Brandfinkle, Sean Phillips. Still does all work for DC with Batman White Knight stuff. However, Chuck Wozniak, Rob Lim, Ethan Van Sciver. Yeah, we have brand members. We have Burma, Loser, Slicer, who gets killed off in this issue, and Power Guy and White Lucas. And I take on officials from Bothran. Yes. Or basically, the mission itself in the issue does not go successful. And then we lead into the story continues over in Action Comics 752. We're focused on Lois because Superman is not in the issue. Yeah, and also there's also an issue, also one point in the story like, oh, lunch. So you have Jimmy run up to Belly Burger to have lunch with Perry White, who's joined by this is the previous issue before Superman went 24/7. We have because they discussing Lex, and then we have the team Superman basically rejecting Superman here. Yeah. And apparently, one of these 87 is collected in Legends Heroes by Doug Mankey. I met Doug Mankey, awesome guy. Yeah, they printed this in that issue. I'm not. It seems kind of odd they printed there, but they did. And then moving on to Superman 143, which is kind of the first I've got. And we have the debut of the Superman robots. Yes. Where it's like robots across the world. Even he takes on a freaking dictatorship. Yes, a dictatorship. And I move on to 566. Where, oh boy. Yeah, let's write where Superman's Metropolis police allies are written to be so, well, both characters feel so stupid. So, Superman finds out that Lex is creating synthetic kryptonite because he, takes on some dictatorship. Finds, oh, here's some LexCorp stuff. So let's break into Lex's building by damaging his freaking window. And then he proceeds to destroy all his labs, and Lex is like, yeah, go ahead, destroy my building. I can build a new one, no problem. I'm rich. And basically, and then we have the police department trying to arrest Superman. He's like, I'm more powerful. He thinks he's the king of who elected you. We have Dan Turpin basically turning on him. Yes, you're like, what the heck is this? Yeah, and I think that's as far as I got with it. Yeah, I think that's as far as I got with it. I think it was. Yeah, I'm going to end it there because, wow. It's like, yeah, 1999, the year where the Superman characters are going to be stupid. At least Batman, what was he doing this period of time? Oh, his city was basically in ruins. And yeah, he's written being character in this whole stuff going on here. Yeah, and how this will wrap up, we'll find out later. But this is almost there. Like, in case you're curious, like, how far are we into, like, before we get to, like, before we stop this 25 issue stuff here? Well, we're surprisingly almost there. Yeah, we're almost there. But this is as far as I got with it so far. Yeah. So, wow. Discussed a lot of comics here, but I like the Superman Blue stuff. Yeah, they think, what about the, is there any more issues of Man of Tomorrow? Like, discuss here? That'll be discussed at some other point. Yeah, I'll discuss it later, but yeah, so oh yeah, Louis Simon takes over the writing duties for Man Tomorrow with issue 12. Yeah. But that's some discuss here, so yeah, so I'm into here because basically, well, there's still more stuff to read here, but yeah. Let's see more stupid stuff happen to Superman. I can see why, basically, people don't like this period of time, because they think the 2000s are bad. Oh no, I think it all started with 1999. And this also is the first, this is also, 1999 also is the third to last year, actually, no, fourth to last year of the diamond numbering. It ends for years after this stuff. Yep. But we're getting really close. So next time I come back to this thing, I will, in fact, finish the stuff up. So, yeah, I think that's a lot here. So, in case you're curious, basically, how far I'll go, well, I discussed Millennium Giants, and it was like, those storylines were good. And then, like, I discussed what happened next. Where it's like, one issue Man Tomorrow, then it's Save the Planet. Yeah, then it's like Save the Planet. Action Comics 562, 563. Yeah, discussed a good number of issues in here, but yeah, now we're going to get really stupid here. Yep. And we're not even halfway through the year 1999 yet. So, in case you're curious, though, for Superman, well, for Action Comics, I stopped at 752. For Man of Steel, I stopped with issue 87. For Superman, I think it was, let's see, I think Adventure Superman, I think I got to like 66. I discussed a one-shot Superman of America. Yeah, definitely 52. Man of Steel was 87. Superman 143. Avengers Superman 566. And that, so basically, so overall, after the Dominus storyline, I discussed with Superman 142 to, I think it was like 143. Yeah, 140 to 143. For Avengers Superman, it was 562 to 566. But good number of issues. I even discussed like one issue of Man of Tomorrow, but actually I think it's like one or two at most. But discuss a lot of stuff here. But I'll put in the description below. Yep. So yeah, this particular review, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications, and do this. But oh, by the way, I give the stuff leading up to Planet. I give some of the good stuff here. Up until the whole 24/7 stuff, roughly a 9 out of 10. The 24/7 stuff for Superman, where like everybody's gonna be stupid except for Lois, like one or two other characters, I give that an 8. I can see why people would like this year. Okay? So, until the next video, which case goes. Bye.